Good morning. Hello, friends. Welcome to all of you who are here live on Zoom, and welcome to all of you who will join us later. My name is Shoshana. I am not the rabbi. The rabbi is away, hopefully healing, and hopefully she will be back soon and we will be in her caring hands soon. At the beginning of the year, in September, the rabbi told us that this was the Shemitah year, the 7th year in a 7-year cycle in which we are not to farm and we're to let the land lay fallow. Now, most of us are not farmers anymore. So she challenged us to consider what the Shemitah year might mean to us, to take a step back. And then the rabbi introduced us or reintroduced us to a meditation on stillness. It was during the meditation on stillness that I began to think that if and when I managed to become still, that I should also be prepared to listen. So I started thinking about listening. And the first thing that came to mind was the Hebrew word for listening, which is lishmoa. The imperative of the verb is shema, listen. The second thing that came to mind, because I've been doing a lot of reading recently, is 1 Kings 19, verses 11 through 13, in which Elijah the prophet is in a cave. This is a bad paraphrase. And he witnesses a wind that destroys mountains, an earthquake, and a fire, and God is in none of these. And then he hears a small voice, and God is in the small voice. So those things went together to me to tell me I needed to stop and I needed to listen and pay attention to something outside of myself. So I began to think about the different ways I listen during the day. I listen to my 12-year-old when I'm driving her to school, and I'm not really listening to her because I'm driving a car. If I were to really listen to her, I would crash the car. And then there's the way the 12-year-old listens to me, which is not listen to me at all, but she has a story lined up and she tells the story, and then she politely gives me a space to speak in. And then she tells her next story. And since I know that she's paying no attention to whatever I'm saying in that space, I like to play with her and say something really interesting in that space. And then she starts talking to me and she loses the next story she's going to say. Then there's listening when I've asked a question. I'm waiting for the answer. So I'm not really listening to what people are saying. I'm waiting for whatever the answer is. What time does so and such happen? And I'm waiting to hear 6 o'clock, right? I'm not really paying attention to what's going on. And then there's the way of listening that my mother demonstrated to me. My mother was a big personality. She was an extrovert to my introversion. She was full of love and laughter. She was the most intelligent person I've ever known. She was a professor of English, and she taught, she loved to teach writing to students. And when she taught students, she would sit with them one-on-one. And this great big, boisterous, loving person would center herself down in front of this hesitant 18-year-old, and she'd close her eyes so that no information would come in except for what the voice of the child was saying. And she would listen without judgment, without expectation, just to what the student had written and was now voicing to her. And that is the kind of listening that I try to practice, and I would like to practice today, a listening without judgment, a listening without expectation. So should we make it to stillness, I think the next move is to make it to listening in the stillness. So if, as you are comfortable, I would invite us now to take 3 deep breaths together. As you are comfortable, close your eyes or let your gaze become soft. We're going to breathe in and hold the breath, and then release the breath a little longer than we breathed it in. Breathe in, hold, breathe out. 2 more times. Breathe in, hold, breathe out. Last time. Breathe in, hold, breathe out. I'd like you to notice areas of tension in your body. Perhaps there is tension in your forehead. If there is, you can clench your forehead and then let it relax and soften. Perhaps there is tension in your jaw. You can clench your jaw and then let it relax. Check your neck. Check your shoulders. You can raise your shoulders and place them behind your back and open up your heart cavity. Look for other areas of tension. It may be in your arms or in your hands. Notice the seat beneath you, how it supports you and holds you. Notice the floor beneath your feet, how it supports your feet and holds them. As you begin to relax, as your body begins to relax, you may find that thoughts come into your head. Thoughts of what you need to make for dinner, or work that you're working on, or people that you're worried about. Let the thoughts come. There's no right or wrong way to do this. But I invite you to place the thoughts down. You can think about them in a few minutes, and you can just line them up to be thought about. Acknowledge their existence and place them back down. Breathe in, hold, breathe out. If you find that you can make it so that your own thoughts and my thoughts are not interrupting you, and you find yourself being still, I would challenge you to listen to the stillness. And now I will be silent. I'd invite you to come back into the room as you are able. Open your eyes when that is comfortable for you to do so. Join together with us. And I hope you had a meaningful moment of silence and of stillness. Thank you for coming today.